my mom said. It's just not practical to bring you this year. But a week later, she posted from a private beach house, all smiles, all family. Except me. I didn't say a word. I locked the shared travel wallet, reversed the card charges, and froze the toll pass. That night, they were stuck in Gridlock with an empty tank. My brother texted, "What happened?" I just sent $1 with the message. What really got me wasn't that they left me behind. It was the lie. Mom said it wasn't practical to bring me this year. Just her and Dad. A quiet trip, nothing fancy. She said it like it was logistics, like I'd somehow be a complication. Flights were expensive, she added. The Airbnb only has one queen and a pull-out. She said it quickly, like she was reading excuses off a list she'd rehearsed. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I said, "Okay," went back to my room, and stared at the wall for a long time. But I knew. I've known for a while. There's a way people look at you when they've decided you're disposable. I've seen it in little moments. Holidays where my name wasn't on the gift exchange list, group texts that never included me, photos where I was cropped out. I always played it off. Busy with work, didn't feel like going. You tell yourself it's fine long enough, and it almost becomes true. But this time, it wasn't even subtle. A week later, I was home alone. They hadn't checked in once since they left. I wasn't expecting them to. I wasn't even thinking about them, honestly. But Instagram thought I should see something. You know how it is, one tag leads to another, and suddenly, you're looking at a story from someone you barely know. Some girl who went to high school with my sister. She posted a beach photo, tagged my sister. That's when I saw the rest. My sister was there. She wasn't supposed to be. She was visiting her boyfriend's family in Oregon. Except now she was standing on a private deck, drink in hand, wearing my mom's sun hat. Then came more photos. Cousins I hadn't seen in 3 years. And Lana. Uncle Ben and his loud shirts. 2 people I didn't even recognize, some friends of the family, maybe. They were all there. And me? Not even mentioned. Mom posted a group shot later that day. Everyone smiling in front of the beach house, arms around each other like some kind of ad for Hallmark. Caption: Family time means everything red heart #blessed. I stared at it for a long time. Not angry at first. Just numb. Then it sank in. They lied. Not forgot. Not overlooked. Lied. To my face. Planned it. Excluded me. And did it so cleanly, so comfortably, like it was no big deal. I could have sent a message. Called. Asked why. But why bother? Instead, I opened the shared travel wallet. The one I created last year for our efficient family planning. It handled all the Airbnb charges, gas cards, tolls, everything. I was still listed as the primary account holder. I'd set it all up because none of them ever wanted to deal with it. And now, I had everything I needed. I reversed every pending charge I could find. Airbnb? Gone. Gas station holds? Reversed. The backup travel card? Disabled. I locked the wallet entirely and shut down the toll pass. That was Dad's favorite part. He loved speeding through the express lane, bragging about how much time he was saving. Not tonight. At 10:24 p.m., my phone buzzed. A single message from my brother. What happened? No greeting. No context. Just that. I opened Venmo. Sent him $1 with a note. Hope that's practical enough. And then I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, made myself a drink, and waited. They weren't even halfway through their trip. Next part coming up. They didn't panic right away. That part surprised me. I thought the moment the Airbnb sent that automated payment failed email, or the gas station declined the card, someone would blow up my phone. But no. Silence. The thing about my family is they're masters of pretending everything's fine, even as the walls catch fire behind them. I used to think it was pride. Now I know it's just arrogance. They genuinely believed the world owed them smooth sailing. So when I cut off the travel wallet and froze the toll pass, I knew it would take a little time for reality to set in. That time arrived Sunday evening. I was sitting at home, eating takeout I paid for with my own money, when I noticed something. My sister's Instagram story was gone. Not expired, deleted. She replaced it with a new one, a boomerang of her in the back seat of the car, looking exhausted, captioned, Longest drive ever, weary face. I opened the wallet dashboard. Gas station in Richmond, card declined. Fast food stop 20 minutes later, blocked. Another gas station an hour after that. Same story. 3 different cities, all the same panic spreading. And then my phone lit up like a Christmas tree. Dad called first. I watched the call ring out. Then Mom, 3 missed calls in a row. She never leaves voicemails. Never has to. She assumes you'll call her back. I didn't. Then a text from my brother. No punctuation, no hello. We're stuck in traffic and the gas is low. What's going on with the wallet? 2 minutes later. Did you change the settings? Another 5 minutes. Hello? Then nothing. Then guilt. You're seriously punishing everyone because of a vacation? Like I was throwing a tantrum. Like I was a child sulking over not getting my way. That's what they always default to, acting like I'm irrational for not accepting their lies with a smile. I sent him $1 on Venmo. Message. Guess you should have brought the one who handles your logistics. Then another. Tell Mom it was just not practical to keep the wallet unlocked. 10 minutes later, silence. I imagined the scene, Dad fuming. Mom frantically trying to log into the wallet from her phone, my sister pretending to sleep in the back, probably texting someone about how insane I was being. They must have tried every backup card in their possession by then, all of them linked to the same frozen pool. I'd given them convenience. Now I took it back. So I kept sending dollars. Another one. You're lucky I didn't cancel the roadside assistance too. And another. Hope this buys you half a gallon. Then Aunt Lana messaged me. I hadn't expected that. We weren't close, more like quiet allies in a family full of noise. She Venmo'd me $100. The note just said, "Please. They have the baby with them." I didn't know anyone brought a baby. Probably my cousin Emily's. She wasn't supposed to be on the trip either. So much for just Mom and Dad. I accepted the money, but not out of sympathy. I just wanted them to know I saw it. That I was watching. That they couldn't rewrite the story this time. I checked the toll logs. They'd finally exited the freeway, paid cash at the booth. Old school. Must have been a nice long line too. No gas charges appeared after that. They were probably conserving the last drops, crawling along in silence, every mile a reminder of who used to handle these things. They still had 5 hours to go. No funds. No shortcuts. And they hadn't even hit the worst part yet. The road home was long. And I was just getting started. Next part coming up. They pulled up like they were on fire. Tires screeched in front of my house around 9:15 a.m., right as I was finishing coffee. It was all 3 of them. Dad behind the wheel, Mom in the passenger seat, my sister in the back looking like she hadn't slept. The second the car stopped, they spilled out onto the lawn, already yelling. I didn't even need to open the door to hear them. "Andrew!" Mom screamed. "Open this damn door right now!" Dad was pacing the sidewalk, muttering loud enough for the whole street to hear. My sister was standing there with her arms crossed like a brat on a playground, hissing things under her breath. And all of them were absolutely losing it. I hadn't seen them this collectively unhinged since the Thanksgiving where someone knocked over the turkey fryer. I didn't open the door. They didn't care. Mom started banging, hard, like she was trying to break it down. Neighbors started peeking through blinds. I saw Mrs. Healy across the street standing on her porch with her phone in her hand. Probably recording it. I kind of hoped she was. "You humiliated us in front of the whole family," Mom shouted. "You think this is funny? You stole from us," my sister yelled. "You hacked our accounts." Dad finally joined in, yelling about how ungrateful I was, how they raised me better than this, how they didn't deserve this kind of betrayal. I let it go on for 3 minutes. Then I opened the door. They all froze like they didn't expect me to actually face them. I stepped out just enough for everyone to see me. Calm. Sane. Sober. And tired. Not physically. Just tired of all of it. "You done?" I asked. Mom tried to rush forward, but I held up my hand and told them, loud enough for the neighbors to hear, that I was finished being the punching bag in this family. I told them they lied to me, excluded me, then acted like victims when I took back what was mine. And then I said the part that shut them up completely. "I'm suing. I want the $15,000 I gave her for school. Every cent." Dead silence. You'd think I'd slapped my sister across the face. Her mouth dropped open. Mom blinked like she misheard me. Dad just stared. "You're out of your mind," my sister finally said. "It was a gift." "No," I said. "I have the messages. You promised to pay me back." She turned red. Mom jumped in with some story about how family doesn't do this to each other, how we all help each other, how if I needed money I could have asked. I laughed. Out loud. That pissed her off even more. "You're tearing the family apart over some misunderstanding," she said. "No," I told her. "You tore it apart when you left me out of it." She yelled something else, but I wasn't listening anymore. Dad tried to calm things down with his usual line. "We don't need to drag this through the courts. We can handle this as a family." But he knew. He saw it in my face. There was no negotiation coming. No compromise. No quiet resolution where I forgave them and they pretended none of this happened. I wanted the money. And I was going to get it. After a few more useless words and accusations, they left. My sister slammed the car door so hard I thought the window might shatter. Mom was still yelling as they drove off. My neighbors didn't even pretend to go back inside. As soon as they were gone, I walked back in, locked the door, and opened my laptop. The legal documents were already halfway filled out. Next part coming up. I expected resistance. Maybe some shouting. Some threats. What I didn't expect was complete silence. 2 days after I told them I was suing, everything went quiet. No texts, no calls, not even those passive-aggressive quote posts my mom loves to put on Facebook. It was like they vanished. Which was strange, because avoiding conflict has never been their style. They usually weaponize it. So I filed the case. I had everything I needed: bank transfers, text messages, screenshots, even an email from my sister thanking me for supporting her dream and promising to return the money within a year. That email was dated 14 months ago. She hadn't sent me a single payment. Then something unexpected happened. That night, my phone buzzed with a notification from Google Drive. A document had been shared with me. The name of the file? Statement from Ryan, my cousin. I opened it. It was a signed affidavit, scanned and timestamped. In it, Ryan confirmed that at a house party last Thanksgiving, my sister openly laughed about never needing to pay me back. She said she played it like a loan because Andrew always falls for guilt. Then she apparently clinked glasses with her roommate and toasted to free tuition. Ryan wrote, "I don't want to be involved, but what she did was wrong. This is the truth." I saved that file like it was gold. The trial date came faster than expected. My lawyer, someone I'd hired from a referral at work, told me it was a clean case. But still, my hands were shaking the morning of the hearing. Not because I was unsure, but because this was it. This was the moment they would finally see I wasn't just background noise. 3 days before the court date, they tried again. Not Mom. Not Dad. Not my sister. And Lana. She showed up at my door carrying a batch of her lemon bars, dressed like she was heading to a funeral. She didn't ring the bell right away. She stood there for a few seconds like she was deciding whether it was worth it. Then she knocked. I opened the door. She didn't waste time. "They're not okay," she said. "They're taking out loans. Your sister's a mess. Your mom's not eating. Your dad hasn't said a word in days." I waited. She shifted the Tupperware in her arms. "They don't have the money, Andrew. If you go through with this, they'll be ruined." I looked at the lemon bars. "I didn't ruin them," I said. "They did that themselves." She stood there another 30 seconds, then set the Tupperware down on my porch and walked away without another word. I didn't touch the lemon bars. Day of the trial, they looked rough. Mom was in full martyr mode, eyes red like she hadn't slept. Dad looked smaller somehow, like a balloon losing air. My sister wouldn't even look at me. Their lawyer opened with the usual spin. Family misunderstanding, verbal miscommunication, unofficial loan. Mine walked the judge through the paper trail like clockwork. Messages, transfers, statements from my cousin. I didn't even have to speak. The judge barely needed 20 minutes. I won. $15,000. 30 days to pay. They walked out before I did. I stayed behind, signing paperwork, shaking hands. It wasn't satisfying. It wasn't dramatic. But it was done. When I got home, there was a plain envelope in the mailbox. No return address, but the handwriting was unmistakable, my grandfather's. I hadn't heard from him in years. Inside was one line on a note card. It took me 40 years to say no to them. You did it before 35. Good. Taped to the back of the card was a folded check for $200. Enough to cover the last 11 months of utilities I'd paid at their house. I didn't cash it. I put it in my drawer. But I framed the note. Next part coming up. They didn't pay by the deadline. No surprise there. I half expected it. Maybe part of me even wanted them to miss it, just to see how far they take the delusion. The court order gave them 30 days. On day 31, my lawyer filed the paperwork to start collections. That's when the cracks really started to show. 2 days later, Mom emailed me. Not called, emailed. Subject line: urgent. No greeting, no formatting. Just a wall of text, all caps in some parts, begging me to reconsider. She claimed they were trying to get the money together, that the delay was because their bank made a mistake, that I didn't understand how much damage I was doing. She said my sister was on the verge of a breakdown. She said Dad hadn't eaten in 2 days. She said I was turning into someone they didn't recognize. I read the whole thing, once, then forwarded it to my lawyer without a word. They tried to buy time. Claimed they were working out a private loan. I waited. 2 weeks passed. Still nothing. So the court issued a lien against their assets. Their credit took a hit. My sister's grad program, her backup plan, revoked her final semester registration until her account balance was cleared. I didn't smile about it. I didn't celebrate. I just took the dog for a walk and thought, finally. Then the calls started. Not from them, God no, but from other people. Extended family I hadn't heard from in years. My uncle called and tried to talk sense into me. Said, family doesn't belong in courtrooms. I told him family doesn't lie, steal, and then scream on your lawn like lunatics. He hung up. A girl I barely knew from my sister's friend group sent me a DM. It said, I don't know the whole story, but she's literally not okay. I left it on read. Then one morning, out of nowhere, my coworker Rob pulled me aside in the break room. Hey man, weird question. Your dad driving Uber now? I blinked. Why? Rob showed me his phone. There it was, his Uber history from 2 nights ago. Driver, Robert Lang. 5 stars. He said the ride was silent, but he was 95% sure it was him. That night I checked Venmo. Nothing. The next day, still nothing. The following week, on a Wednesday afternoon, it came through. $15,000. From my sister. No message. No emojis. No note. Just the amount. And that was it. No call. No apology. Not even a cheap line like, I hope we can move on. I stared at the screen for a long time. Then I closed the app, pulled up my bank account, and removed the automatic utility payments I'd been quietly making on their house for the past 11 months. $200 per month. $2,200 in total. I left it alone. That was my gift to them. That same evening, I got a Facebook message from my mom. Just a single sentence. I hope it was worth it, Andrew. I replied with one line. It was. You taught me how to lie, and I finally used it the right way. I logged out of Facebook for the first time in years. Next part coming up. It's been 3 months since I got the money. Every cent. Right on time, just like the court ordered. And not a single word since. No apology. No explanation. No attempt at peace. Not even one of those vague, hope you're well, texts they usually send when they want something. They vanished. But it wasn't absence that filled the space, it was silence. A very specific kind. The kind that means they're still furious, still embarrassed, still telling themselves a version of the story where they're the victims and I'm the villain. Good. My mom deleted every trace of me online. Photos, comments, even my name in old captions. Gone. Like I'd never been there. My sister posted a blurry photo of some quote about loyalty and losing people when they stop being useful. She knew exactly what she was doing. My dad hasn't posted anything. Typical. He does his damage quietly. I heard from a cousin 2 weeks ago. She said my mom started crying during a family dinner when someone brought me up. Claimed she doesn't know who I am anymore. Said I turned cold. And apparently she told everyone that the only reason I won in court was because I had more money to throw at lawyers. That's rich. The irony of it all is they would have gotten nothing but silence from me if they just left me alone. But no, they had to show up at my door. They had to scream at me in front of my neighbors, humiliate me, mock me, accuse me of being ungrateful. They chose war and were shocked when I fought back. Now they're broke. I heard from someone who heard from someone that Dad had to refinance the car. My sister deferred her loans again. Mom pulled out of her overpriced wine and crystals online business. The lies they used to flex on people. We're doing great, she's graduating soon, we're planning a big vacation. Those don't work anymore. Because everyone knows now. That's the part they really can't handle. Not the money. Not even the legal loss. It's the exposure. The people who used to admire them now look at them sideways. The picture-perfect family image they worked so hard to sell cracked wide open. All because of me. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not bitter either. I don't think about them with anger anymore. I think about them the same way you think about an old job you quit too late, just a lesson. One I paid for, and now one they're paying for, too. The house is quieter now. Peaceful. I no longer check my phone expecting anything. No passive-aggressive messages. No sudden emergencies. No more calls begging me to cover another bill. Just this once. I stopped tracking their accounts the day I deleted the utility autopay. I told myself I'd forgive those $2,200 and I did. I meant it. But there's nothing else. No more charity. My boundaries are real now. And permanent. That note from my grandfather is still sitting in the frame above my desk. Just 8 words. Took me 40 years. You did it, Yum. Good. I don't even know how he found out. Maybe someone forwarded the gossip. Maybe he just saw what they did to him replaying through me. Sometimes I look at it before I go to bed. It's not pride I feel. It's something better. Peace. Clean earned peace. The kind you only get when you stop pretending you're okay being treated like a spare part. They made a choice. So did I. And for once, I picked me. I thought things had finally settled. 3 months of silence, money paid, reputations in ruins, and not a word from any of them. Then, 2 weeks ago, I got a notification from Dropbox, one I hadn't seen in ages. It was an old shared family folder we used back when I was still being treated like a team member. I didn't even remember it was still active. There was a new file. Uploaded by my sister. It was a PDF titled, Statement from Mediation Draft. I opened it thinking it might be some half-hearted apology. Not even close. It was a proposed script. A statement they wanted me to sign off on, saying that there was no actual theft. That the court case was a misunderstanding fueled by emotional tension. And that the situation had been amicably resolved. She even used those exact words. Buried in the middle was a request for me to consider retracting any negative characterizations made toward family members in the interest of healing. Negative characterizations. That's what she called evidence, court documents, and financial records. At the end of the file, there was a final line that made me laugh out loud. We hope this small gesture will allow us to restore family unity and protect our shared reputation moving forward. Translation. You got what you wanted, now clean up the mess you made by holding us accountable. I forwarded the file to my lawyer. He responded in under a minute. Sit tight. Do not respond yet. So I haven't. But here's what I know, they're scared. Not of me, not of the money, but of the narrative. They thought they could tank my name in the family, paint me as cruel, selfish, vindictive. But it didn't work. Too many people saw the truth. Too many started asking questions they couldn't answer. And now they want to rewrite history. Quietly. Behind closed doors. They're trying to salvage the version of themselves they used to show the world. But I'm not signing anything. Not agreeing to anything. Not softening the edges of what happened. I was thrown out, lied to, used, and discarded. They can write whatever drafts they want. I've already written the ending.